So Dan, will you give us an update on your project?
Sure. So we are this week going to do the plasma cutting on the side wall for the trellis, and then we're going to engineer the trellis out. And I met last week with the solar company out of Bend, Oregon. Precision Renewables came down and talked about all the parts needed for the solar component, and so that was very enlightening. I don't know really much about solar other than, you know, it works off the sun, and so they're going to help us kind of do the engineering and the solar part, and then as you can see in there, I got the grow tube that I made myself, and so we're going to have the trellis come in and install the trellis and then hang the tubes, and then at that time the hydroponic guy will come in and tell me the parts and pieces for the hydroponics, and then we'll build the solar to accommodate all the energy needs, and still on track to have it completed by a working prototype by October 1st.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit, where are the solar panels going to go?
They're going to go on the roof, up on the ceiling.
And how, can you just explain a little bit about how it'll work and how it'll be set up into...
So, basically from the front to right about here, so we're going to cut this piece out right here, and for the sake of the prototype, we're not going to hinge it, and but it will, you know, the real container, this will hinge down, and then the trellis will be set up, and then we'll hang 80 tubes, 40 on that side, 40 on that side, of kind of the same kind of tube. And then from here, the next 6 feet is going to be a cold storage and a grow room. And then the last 4 feet here will be the mechanical room. That's where the solar batteries, the inverter, the reservoir, the mixing tank, the solar-driven pump for the hydroponic system will be in that back space there.
Now, when you say rooms, will there be literal physical walls?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we're going to have a physical wall, you know, kind of right here. And the mini split, the condenser.
I can see where there's little lines on the ground too, kind of where it is.
So
is this like on purpose, or that's just, it just happens to look like that?
This is just the flooring, but so yeah, I've kind of done some layout already. So
cool.
And then there'll be another wall here, and
so, and explain the hydroponics a little bit. How does that?
So this is a model I built. It's kind of replicates. It's kind of beat up a little bit, but if you imagine the blue line is the water source, these represents the grow tubes.
Ooh, so this is like a little...
So a little scale model I built.
Wow.
So this is actually represents a 10-foot shipping container. So that blue represents the water reservoir, and then the little wine barrel represents the liquid nutrients.
This is so cute.
Right? So yeah, basically the way it works is the pump will pump the water source over all the tubes, both sides. I only built out one side like we're going to do here. We'll percolate onto the root systems in the tubes here, and so we get like 28 individual spots in this grow tube, and
the water will be trickling down this.
The inside.
I think I can see there's a second tube on the inside there.
Yeah, so this was my prototype. I actually grew 28 amazing heads of rainbow chard and spinach and cilantro and Italian parsley and kale, a couple different kales, 3 or 4 different types of lettuces. They did extremely well. So when I built this, I kind of was thinking it was going to be engineered a certain way. So this isn't exactly what we're going to use, but it's a close proximity. And
is that tube down the middle? Is that what the water's traveling through, or
no? So on mine, this was hanging, and then I had 16 inches connected here down below, that was actually the water reservoir with a fish pump in it. And so the tube was, the fish pump was pumping with a tube going inside that tube up to the top to then percolate, kind of just drip. And this was the cap. It got dry rotted, but you can see a bunch of holes in it. So the tube came up like this and filled this whole bowl up with water, and then it just dripped
Okay.
onto the roots.
What's the new design idea?
Well, so initially I was thinking I was gonna have a reservoir for every tube. So we eliminated that, and we're just gonna have a single reservoir back here in the mechanical room with one big pump on a timer. And so these are all gonna hang, outside, and then it will again percolate onto every tube.